Are the things that you're hearing in the hallways that have to do with sex accurate? Where can you go? Where can you turn when you want to get proper information about healthy sexuality and how God designed it? So sometimes we hear that sex is dirty or bad, or sometimes we even hear that we don't even talk about that. You can ask your parents what their experience was growing up when they had questions about sexuality and sex and how their parents handled it. And maybe they'd like to do things differently. In reality, our sexuality is a divine gift. It's part of our mortal experience here on earth. God has a very important plan for it. It is meant to be. It is good. It helps bring about His plan of salvation to create families that last for eternity. So it's important to learn and understand the way God wants us to use our sexuality. And you've probably noticed Satan's favorite pastime is to cause as much confusion and distraction around this topic as he possibly can, to get us in every different direction but the one that brings us closer to God. So when you're trying to figure all this out, it's very normal and healthy to be curious about sex, to be curious about bodies and how they work, to be curious about sexuality. It's built into us. We're supposed to be curious about it. It's really important that you turn to the right sources for answering your questions. There's just so much confusion out there in the world today. Your parents are really good sources for accurate information, and they will help you to be able to know what's good, what's wrong, what's true, and what's false. So it's really important that when you see or hear something with your friends or at school that you're like, what the heck is that? Just talk to your parents about it. My kids, I always know when they've heard or seen something at school because they'll walk in the door and they'll be like, I've been wanting to talk to you about this all day. What is this? I saw this. Ooh, my friend said this, and I'm not sure what it is, but it didn't give me a very good feeling. What is that? And I try and help them understand and navigate this world that they live in that's full of sexual confusion. You can talk to your parents. They want to help you. So because our world is so full of pornography, you're going to see images popping up all around you, and you need to be able to talk to your parents about it. And you also need to create a plan for what to do when you see it. So I'm going to share with you my family's plan. So if you're on a computer and you see something that you know is pornography, it's an inappropriate image, someone who's wearing little or no clothing, or they're doing something that you know is inappropriate, the Spirit will tell you. You turn it off right then. You go talk to your parents about it and you let them know what happened. Now, what do you do if you're at school? A lot of times when my kids are at school doing their schoolwork, an ad will pop up on the side of their homework assignment. And it's usually a cartoon or something for a game, but it's pornography. What do you do then? Same thing. You close it, you turn it off, you let your teacher know. You create a plan for how to avoid that in the future. We also have some other rules at my house that help us so that we can avoid all those confusing and weird images that Satan is throwing our way. We live in a digital world, so we have to be really mindful of the things that we're choosing to consume and the things that we're choosing to be exposed to. So in our house, my kids don't get a cell phone until they turn 16. Can you believe that? Am I crazy? My first one, who's now on a mission right now, at first he was like, oh, that's kind of a hard rule. And then after a couple of years, he said, Mom, I will have the same rule for my kids. It's been such a help for me. We also have a rule that you can't have any tech devices in your bedroom, and that our computer has to be in a place that everybody can see it. Nothing hidden, nothing secret. We also don't use social media at our house. Do you remember in one of our last family home meeting lessons, we talked about how a lot of the images we see on social media aren't really true or accurate to what people actually look like. And it's easy to compare yourself and feel really bad about yourself. Well, social media is also a place where there's a lot of inappropriate images, and it can be really tempting when nobody's around and you're on your phone to start looking at things you know you shouldn't be looking at. So those are all the rules that we have, because in our house, it's more important for us to avoid and just let Satan know he's not welcome here. We don't want him in our minds and our thoughts. There's plenty of it around us already. We don't need to be adding any more. Thank you very much. So I want you to pause here and have a discussion as a family about what you want to do for handling if you see an inappropriate image at home or at school or on a YouTube video or a movie or on a magazine when you're out shopping. What should you do? What's your family plan? And then talk about what are some of the ways your family is using technology, and do you need to make some changes to help protect everybody and help them make good choices? Go. Okay, now that you've had your discussion and you've created your plan, I want to read this little section to you and make sure I get every bit of what I want to say correct. So when you see pornographic images, it can feel really scary and confusing because your body has a really big, powerful reaction to what you see. It's going to have a reaction when it sees something sexual because that's how God designed it. God designed your body to react that way because one day when you're married as an adult, those big feelings are going to actually bring you closer to your spouse and strengthen your marriage. But what does Satan want? He wants to keep that from happening. So he's going to distract you, tempt you, confuse you, pull you away with all these other options to keep that from happening because he wants to fight against God's plan. He doesn't want you in a happy, eternal marriage. So he's going to throw anything at you, and he knows an easy way to do that is by eliciting really powerful sexual feelings in places where it has nothing to do with what God intended it for. Don't fall for his lies. Now, you might be struggling with a temptation or a curiosity about pornography right now, and maybe you haven't talked to anyone about it. Please be brave and ask your parents for help. They will help you. They will listen to you and they will help you create a plan to developing self-mastery and to learning how to properly channel those feelings and that energy and that curiosity to learn to wait so that you can obey the law of chastity and enjoy those sexual aspects of our body in the right place and with the right person and at the right time. Let's avoid pornography at all costs. And don't believe the lies that pornography portrays. Satan thrives in the dark. So we need to keep these discussions out in the open and in the light so that he can't get a foothold. Remember, it's healthy and normal to have a curiosity about these things. But if we haven't been taught the rules about how to protect ourselves, sometimes we can slip into some scary, inappropriate habits, and we're going to need help to change those habits into something better. So I want to talk about a big way that we can protect ourselves from getting stuck into that trap. And one of the big ways is to flood your life with so much light that there's no room for any of Satan's darkness. So I want to share some of these things with you, okay? I want you to think about if you're doing any of these things. If you are practicing an instrument, learning to play a sport, going to primary or youth activities, helping your parents, spending time with your friends, reading your scriptures and other good books, praying and serving, guess what? You're just too busy for Satan. He's going to have a hard time getting a foothold into your life because it's so full of good things he can't weasel his way in. Being home bored, parked in front of a screen, all alone, that's a recipe for disaster. Keep yourself so busy doing good things that you don't have time for any of the temptations Satan wants to throw at you. I love this saying, Satan loves to find us when we're standing still. God begins to work with us when we're moving our feet. Keep yourself anxiously engaged in all the good causes, and you will be blessed for it. Here are some final discussion questions for your family. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me for this lesson today. You can find a link to all of the healthy sexuality lessons here, along with a link to parent guides. If you found this lesson helpful, please share it with others who it may be useful for. Then head over to the uncommonsensebooks.com website, where you can find my resource page, links to my books, and you can also sign up for my quarterly newsletter. I'll see you at the next one.